Hello and welcome to Interactive Distractions, episode number 512. My name is Christopher Heo, and I'm here with Jason A. Stryker.
Yo, howdy.
And Geoff Chorney.
What up, everyone?
And today we're going to do some distractions and a little bit of news. But I haven't talked to Jason in a while. Jason, what's up, man? How are you?
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. I'm lonely.
You doing okay? You feeling better?
Yeah,
Loaded question.
Loaded question.
Am I doing better? Yes and no. I didn't stop, but I reduced the amount of like psych meds that I'm taking. This is under doctor guidance and
okay,
support.
good.
So
that was going to be my first question.
Yeah, and Jesus Christ, I hit a wave of sadness because I had not felt anything for like the past 3-4 years, like
Oh, wow.
no highs, no lows, just fucking nothing, like totally numb. And then the other day I felt like super intense sadness and it didn't go away. I'm like, this is progress, but also fucking terrible at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is kind of a loaded
I can
question,
feel something, but it's crippling depression, Doc. So
Yes,
what do I do about
exactly.
that?
I feel something, but I don't want to feel it anymore.
Yeah.
Back on the drugs, please.
Yep.
Can you hit my hand with a hammer or something? Pain. Come on.
So as it turns out, I chose the wrong week to start playing Clair Obscur.
No.
That fucking intro wrecked me.
Oh
but,
man, yeah.
We'll talk about that.
We'll get to that, but
we'll get to that. Also, yeah.
Well, it's improving though.
Yeah, it's gotten a little bit better. The family is camping currently, so I'm the only one left in the house. So I get to watch all the naughty
You're
and
not wearing
scary
pants
movies that I want
underneath
to. Nope.
Thing, are you? Yep, damn right.
I got lounge pants on, but yeah, that's it. No, it's good. She baked me a lasagna to last me, and I'm almost done with it. So.
Oh wow,
Yes.
okay.
Yep. It's a good lasagna.
I would imagine. Yeah. Good stuff.
Things are good. How about Geoff?
I am doing okay. This week was interesting. As we know, the Switch 2 pre-orders went up.
Yeah.
So I'll start with Jason. Jason, you managed to grab one online.
Yeah, not just one. I grabbed two, actually. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep the second one. I probably shouldn't, but man, it would be really nice to give to Griffin. He would love that. Holy shit.
Did you get 2 Mario Karts?
Yeah, 2 bundles.
2 bundles.
Yeah,
if you don't want to give it to him, I'm sure you could find someone who wants it. Maybe
it seems like it's a lot easier to get this time around, because you can just walk into GameStop like the first day that they started doing pre-orders, and
they're still available here.
Oh, really?
If you go to a store,
wow.
Yeah.
I checked the site just a few hours ago, and I decided to check availability, and a lot more of them now are low availability, but a lot of them still have like available, so you can still go to a GameStop. I didn't get one online. I tried. First I was like, there's no way I'm staying up till midnight. F that. And I woke up at like 12:10, just a habit of just like kind of waking up.
It was a mess at that point.
Oh, I was like, I'm gonna try. So I woke up to like 3 text messages from my buddy being like, I'm trying these sites, nothing. So I'm like, all right. And I went to Walmart and I got to the point where it was to pay for it. So I had it in my cart, all good to go. And then I kept screwing up. And then I was like, well, now I can't really fall asleep. So I kept trying until about 1. And then I just finally went to sleep, like, screw this. Next morning, did the same rigmarole with other stores, nothing. And then at like 10:30, like GameStop, their website said, oh, you can pre-order if you come in here like at opening. So 10. So I'm like, well, like last time I did this, I went for the Series X and there was a line. Like the guy told me like the day before, a couple days before, he's like, you probably should be okay. Just show up at like opening time. And I came just for opening time, and I was actually like an hour before opening, and there was already a line. So I was like, I'm like, there's no way the Switch 2 is gonna be whatever. And I drove over there, and there was a line. There's probably about 15 to 20 people maybe in line. And I was like, well, I walked up, and everyone's kind of quiet at this point. And first of all, I can't believe I went out to going out to a retail store to buy something like this is just like I said, I
novel.
did it Series S or X because it was, it was like I didn't want to try it online. I was like, fuck that. And I got there, and then no one came out, or no one said, "Hey," like they only said they're getting like 10 or something. So I just stood in line, and then eventually people lined up behind me, and then we started a conversation. And we, of course, at that point, once some people start talking, everyone starts talking. So we're all just like getting hyped, talking about games or whatever. And I had no problem. Went in there, and then there was a good probably 10 people after me to 15, and they never once said like, "Hey, like just to let you know, we're only got like 7 more," and I think so. I was like, they must
No
have gotten a
cutoff. Yeah.
lot.
Huh.
Yeah, because I showed up half an hour after they opened, and there's a line. So I'm guessing they must have gotten like, I want to say probably around 50, if not more, because they're still
That's what I was
available.
seeing. Like, yeah, there were a bunch of people that, like on Reddit, were posting. They had a sign set up at the GameSpot
Hmm.
that they had X amount of the bundles and the regular edition. Seems like they had more of the bundles than
Yeah,
anything,
they sold out of
pretty
the
much across the
single.
board.
They did announce that at some point. They said there's no
Okay,
more base ones left anymore.
gotcha.
But I think they got a lot less. But I went ham. Like I fucking got the console, pro controller, the case,
Nice.
glass protector,
Oh
uh,
damn!
a memory card.
Did you get the $84 case?
No, I didn't get that
Okay,
one.
good.
I just got, and I didn't get the Nintendo branded one either. I got the one that's like the GameStop ones. It's like, I don't know. It was like
Huh.
it was like $29. It was just like a
Oh,
traveling
okay.
case, but it wasn't the
Yeah.
one that carries like everything, but carries
Right.
enough. But pre-ordered fucking Cyberpunk 2077 because I'm like, if
Holy
there's
shit.
anything I want to see how this thing runs, so that's the one that's going to test it probably the most at launch.
Sure.
So, and it's probably going to be cross save, so I'm already playing that now again. So it'd be kind of cool to have it on both.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
there's something else I got too with it, but I can't really remember. But yeah, it
Um,
was.
I pre-ordered a 256 micro SD, the express ones,
Yep.
because it was the same price as it was on Amazon. So it's
Oh,
like a
nice.
Mario branded one. Normally, there's a video game character tax on those,
Hmm.
Yes.
where you have to pay
Yes.
like ten
Yep.
Yes,
dollars
there
extra.
is
But
Nintendo
um,
tax.
yep. So yeah, this one was priced aggressively.
Price accordant.
I
Yeah.
also pre-ordered a Pro controller, but I ended up canceling that because I have too many Bluetooth controllers here at home that are really really good. So it's like they're gonna work um, with the Switch too. So
Yeah, if they're
I
gonna
Yeah, as
may as
long
work
as it
well just
works.
get
for it,
those.
I still might
Yeah.
get one of those 8-bit ones for the
Yeah,
bedroom when I eventually buy a second dock, because I did with the
nice.
Switch One, I had to go back and forth with the dock. So, and it was just a pain to carry. Like, well, it might be, oh, you can't control a controller and the fucking console. It got annoying. Okay,
Yep.
so I'm just having one in each room for it would be nice. The same way I have
I
for like
have
the other
multiple,
consoles.
yeah, like strategically placed around in various areas. So
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's just a convenience thing, and plus I kind
Mhm,
of like the, for some reason, especially around launch, I like to have the official stuff for the actual like
sure.
peripherals and things like that. I did not buy the camera though, that's for sure. I wasn't getting that thing.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know if I'm gonna get one of those. Well, I have some, like USB cameras that are laying around here, so I might just try
mhm.
those, see if they'll work.
Well, there's two cameras, right? There's the shitty one with that's
Yep,
the Piranha Plant.
480p. Oh,
Yeah,
it
and
looks
then
so
there's the
cool
regular
though.
one.
It
Damn
does
it.
look
Yeah,
really
it
cool.
does look cool, but it's a
It's
480p
480p.
camera. It's like, who makes those?
Seriously, yeah, where'd they get that?
It's like they wanted to make something for $5 and then turn around and sell it for like 50. Like, how
Yep.
much does that one cost?
$60,
No
I think.
idea.
50, $60.
60. I was giving him too much credit, apparently.
But no, it was fun. I still think that's a lot of fun going to these things for the pre-order. Then it's also really good to go to pick it up. They're doing a midnight launch. I'm not going to do that. That is something I definitely will not do. I didn't do that for the other stuff. I'm too old for that shit. Get home,
my
go
last
there, pick everything up, come home, and go to bed.
my last
Like,
midnight launch was the PS4, I think. We
nice. I
went
think
and
mine was that too. Well, not the PS4. It would have been Xbox One because I got the PS4 for Christmas. I think that was my last
okay.
midnight launch. But yeah, it was cool. I called my buddies, two that were trying to get it at midnight with me, and I was like, "Hey, go to your local GameStop because that they had no problems." And one of my buddy went right away from work, and he's like, "Yep, we got one." And then our other buddy's a teacher; he couldn't go till after work was done. He's like, "I'm probably not gonna get one, but I'm gonna try." So he went at like 4 p.m. He got one. He's like, "Yep, had no problems." So if you're listening and you still want to switch to, the best bet's probably to go into an actual retail store. They probably will have them. And they still have the Nintendo pre-orders that are going out May 8th as well.
Yeah.
So
And there's
I still
also
have a thing
Costco
there.
and Sam's Club that
Oh yeah, that's
are
right.
going to be a day of the launch day.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. New tech is always fun for me.
Yep.
You guys, yeah.
I'm
That's about it,
excited for a new Mario Kart machine. Bring it on.
Yeah. Oh, Mario Kart, so good.
Yeah.
And then other than that, Tanya had to get her appendix out on Tuesday evening. So
Yeah, you said
that was an
that. Shit.
ordeal. Yeah, like Monday
Was that
around
like
9
a
p.m.
sudden thing, or was it?
Yeah, like Monday, like around 9, she was having these like cramp, like really bad, like stomach pain. And at
Mhm.
first, she just thought, okay, it was like cramps or whatever, like normal women's stuff. And then, but all night she had it; it wouldn't go away, and she was also like throwing up and stuff at night.
Oh
So
yeah.
the next morning, we're like, well, let's go to the emergency room because this is not normal. Like, if it doesn't feel whatever, and it turns out, yep, she had appendicitis, and we had her put up in the hospital for, I guess technically it was 2 nights because she had the surgery done the Tuesday night, and then she stayed over. Oh no, just one night. Stayed over till
Mhm.
I don't know what it was, a Wednesday, probably around like 4. I can't remember what time it was. It seemed like forever, but she got put up
Yeah.
into a nice private room, which is cool. It was a
Oh,
bigger
awesome.
room than small, like in studio apartments here in Toronto. It was like had its own
Sure.
bathroom and shower and a TV. Plus, she had her own personal TV on a swivel that had like all these apps, the internet, and like YouTube and stuff on it. It was pretty cool.
Let me tell you, like being in a room with someone else when you're sick is fucking
No,
terrible. I hate that.
no, please no.
So
No.
yeah, give me a private room any day.
Yeah, please.
Oh, with other people you don't know. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah.
yeah. I
Don't want to be
had
with other people.
mine removed as well. It
Same.
was it was when Jason, you and I were still working together at CLA, and it was right after. I still to this day I don't know if it's possible for this to be what it is or not. I think I just had too much at their little. It was like right after their Thanksgiving luncheon, and they always brought in like a ton of food. And like the next day I woke up with a pain, and I skipped dinner the night before, and I was like, yeah, there's this pain in my lower right abdomen, and my wife's
Mhm.
like, that might be your appendix, and I'm like,
Mhm.
really?
Yep.
And she's like, why don't you go to the emergency room? And I'm like, all right, cool. So I basically called out of work, and by 4:30 that afternoon, my appendix was gone. So
Yeah.
things
They get
work
rid of it quick,
fast.
huh?
Yeah,
They
things work
do.
fast.
Yeah.
And then the next day I went home. So it was the orthoscopic, right? That's where they just
Yeah, that's
use the
yeah.
yeah.
It wasn't. They didn't even have that when I got mine taken out. That didn't even exist. So I got the old incision down there. So I have like a scar and
Mm.
shit.
Oh,
So
really? How long ago was it?
I think I was like 19 or something like that, 18 or 19.
Oh man, mine was way well before that.
Really?
Yeah, it was when I've been at my current job for 12 years since 2013, and I got it out while I was working at CLA with Jason. So it's been at least like 15 years.
Oh, I got it, dude. Do
Yeah.
some math there, bud.
Yeah.
You said 2019, right? Or
No, I
you
said
were
I was
19.
19.
He was
You were
19.
19. Okay, okay. I heard 2019. All right.
No. I was like, yeah, you might want to subtract a little bit more on there.
Okay, yeah, my
Yeah.
bad. I misheard you. Yeah, I get
No
you.
worries, it happens. But yeah, she's doing better now. She
Good,
she
good.
still has pain. She still has problems like getting up and down and stuff. But she
Yeah.
can walk better now. So we try to walk as much as she can here and there to kind of stretch out and stuff like that. So
Well,
that's about it.
glad she's on the mend.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
I have nothing to report. I got
All right.
outside of like, work is work. School for the kids is school for the kids. It's, it's all that same stress. So,
I hear you.
for me, the games are my escape. So let's talk about my escape.
Sure, let's do that.
All right.
The big releases last week.
There were indeed, and I know there's one that we are all playing.
That's
Yes.
the one that we got to talk about first, I think.
Yeah, let's talk about Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I am about 12, 13 hours in at this point.
That's
I
way farther than me,
fucking love this game. There's so much to it. Like I get little feelings of different games as I'm playing. You obviously get like the feeling from your turn-based RPGs, but then every single character has a completely different play style and has like different features to them. The weapons, they key off of particular attributes like the Souls games. So when you're putting attributes into your character, you're tuning based on the weapon that you're using. And they give you the ability to respec as well. So there's a little bit of Dark Souls there. I get a little bit of the Dark Souls games too, and it's like if you get to a save point, everything respawns, right?
Yeah.
So there's all these little things that I'm feeling so much.
Have flasks like you do in Dark Souls.
Yeah, you have flask. Everything is a flask. There's four. There's like there's the main flask that you can take on while you're out of combat that basically heals up everybody, and that's I forgot what that one's called. But then there's a healing flask, there's an AP flask, and then there's a revive flask, and they all recharge when you save. So what's that?
They're called tints, I think, in these games and this game.
But I can't. I never played Wukong, but I certainly had a remembering of a lot of the talk of invisible walls with Wukong, because there's a lot of invisible walls.
Yeah, there is.
A very noticeable lack of a meaningful map, which I am. That's probably the one thing that drives me crazy. But everything else, like I don't even. It doesn't even have to be a mini map. Just give me a map. Like it's the maps are, especially. I don't know if you've gotten to.
Just the overall map, but that's
it. But like there's no map for like the areas you go into. Have you gotten to the village yet, Geoff?
I don't think so.
You're almost there.
I just fought a boss that I'm pretty sure you get somehow in your party, or he becomes a friend at some point. He's the one that brings up the flowers from the ground. That boss. He was that was the last big guy I beat.
Okay, yeah. So you're almost there.
Okay.
But the little merchant that you saw, out after you got out of the mansion,
hair dude, the guy with the
the guy with the broom on his head.
yeah.
There's a. So he talks to you about that a little bit, but that area, like the area that you go through to get there and the village itself are like mazes, and it's like I just want a map so I know where I'm going. But I don't know where to even begin with how invested I am in this game. Like they catch right out of the gate with like the storyline, and the explanation. And that's like this does not jump right in. Like it jumps right into story. It doesn't jump into any gameplay at all. It definitely leads into it with like an hour plus worth of story.
You are controlling it though. It's not like you're watching just a bunch of
exactly. It's not like a bunch of cutscenes, but you're like walking around the town and and you're interacting with people. There's like a festival that you get to participate in, and there's like things that you can get within the festival, and you
kind of reminded me of the beginning of Chrono Trigger. How at the beginning of that you kind of go
absolutely that's a really, really good point. But man, the story in general.
Well, let's rewind it back a bit
really
for
hard.
people who might not know what it is. So it's it's an RPG, basically, kind of like a throwback to older style turn-based RPGs, but very modern. And the story is basically there's this paintress who, in the far distance, she's giant and she paints on this rock a number on the continent. And she basically paints a number, and basically anyone's age from that number and up. Well, I guess there's no point in saying up because everyone above that number is already dead anyway. Dies on that date. So every year it's kind of like a New Year's thing.
Yeah, they turns to dust.
Exactly. It literally looks like the snap. It does.
Yeah, and they will get wiped out. So the expeditions are basically every year they get a team together and they try to go to this continent and figure out why this is happening, why this paintress is doing this, and see if they could stop it. And they've all failed. So it's basically like a suicide mission. And that's basically what this game takes place. It takes place from the transition of 34 to 33, and you are the characters in this expedition. And Jason kind of alluded to it. before. Saw people talking about the first like hour of this game and how it made them tear up or like worse. And I thought, there's no fucking way I'm gonna get invested in characters in that short amount of
That
time.
short, yeah.
But the way they did it, and the way the characters act, and the way like the voice acting, and the way they animate the music, and the
It's
music is, I
so
think,
effective, yeah.
the music is totally, I think, what nails
It's
it, especially those
so
key parts.
good. It's
And
so good.
I was telling Tanya, I'm like, I think whatever. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, like this is the fastest a game has ever made me tear up. Ever. Like it's gotta be a record. Like and games don't really do that to me much, like hardly at all. It's gotta be pretty intense. But
I
yeah.
shut it off after that.
I mean,
Oh, did you?
I did. Yeah, no, I watched a little bit of the next scene where you go to the festival or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I can't. I'm done for the day. I can't deal with this.
And I don't even want to like ruin anything, because just what they do, the lead up and right afterwards, and how the whole thing's like a celebration kind of, but it's really depressing celebration, and just like
it's very depressing. They even like go into details like, they cut servers out of the budget like so many years ago. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. And like the girl who sells the roses is like, she has so many of them. She's like, well, there's not that many people anymore, because the older people, just everyone keeps getting younger and younger, so there's less of them. And these people that go on the expedition, like, you don't have to be of that age of your last year. But if I was in my last year, like the Gustav, like the main character, whatever, I'd be like, fuck that. I'm going on a year-long bender if I knew that was my last year, and I'm just doing everything that I could. I'm saying yes to everything. Like, it's just like, all right, let's do this. Like these guys just it's crazy. But yeah, sorry, I just want to set up the whole like
No,
thing,
that was good timing. I was about to rewind and do the same thing, so that was well timed. But
did we talk about the combat system? Because that
not
thing
yet.
is not yet. Okay,
not yet. We're certainly going to get there. But yeah, so shortly after that festival, you essentially jump on a ship and you go over to the continent, and you're in search of the paintress, and shit goes down. Like it jumps right in. So it starts out, it's very RPG-ish with the story, the way it starts out. Like you end up getting separated from everybody and you have to go find everybody, right? So
let's not spoil much of the story at all. Just
that's as far as I'm going to go. But like you see like videos of like just Gustav, and that's it, right? So the combat is it's
more
really deep
style, but
it's really deep for a turn-based system. And like I said earlier, every character has a different style of combat. So like the first 3 characters that you run into will have the two characters you meet during the festival are and actually battle who like duel each other is Gustav and Mael. Yeah, Mael. Thank you. And Gustav is like, he's got an artificial arm, and he does this overcharge thing. And as you attack and dodge and parry, it'll go up to you get a certain number of overcharge points, and it goes up to 10. Once it gets to 10, like your damage is higher and things like that. But you can also use this big mega move called overcharge, and that's kind of how all of his stuff works. It's all based around the overcharge mechanic,
building up those points.
Yeah. Well, Mael is a fencer, so all of her stuff is based around fencing stances. So she's got like an attack stance and a defense stance, and she's got like a virtuose stance. The virtuose stance is crazy fucking powerful. Like if she is my from a combat perspective, she's my favorite, because she just there's so much she can do.
So I have a question with her then. I'm not quite sure how her mechanics work. The whole idea is you want to switch stances every turn. Is that the whole thing?
No, not necessarily. So I'll give you kind of an idea of what I usually do with her. The virtuose stance is where I want to be, because it's high damage.
Yeah, but you can go right to that on the first turn. So is there any plus side to not doing that?
Can you? How do you do that?
Just select. There's a skill that puts her right into it after the first attack.
Not from the start.
Yeah, there is.
there's one that goes into attack right from the start.
There's one that does virtuous. It's the purple one, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the. It's on
Yeah.
her skill tree.
Okay, so what I end up doing is there's one particular skill that will put her in virtuose, and then there's another major. There's like two big skills that you can get that are. One of them does a huge amount of damage, and then also will stun if you're in that stance. And then there's
Flippy
one that does
right?
yes, the flippy one. And then there's the one that does the big sword that comes out of the ground, and it's cheaper if you're in virtuose and does crazy amounts of damage as well. So I'm often with her using. There's a couple of other skills that you get later on that are super useful. But especially one that has to do with shields. So I use those in order to get her to where she could be in virtuose and then could do the mega damage. But anytime I have a duel, where it's like a one-on-one, I've been using her because it's just so easy to get stuff out with her. She's really, really good.
So, but back to my question though, like, isn't her whole mechanic you have to switch? Like, you can't just stay in virtuous stance the entire time, right?
No, when you do an attack, it flips you out of it unless there are skills that say it'll keep you in virtuous, right?
Okay, so you don't have to keep going back and forth. You don't have just whatever it says the ending stance will be. You can stick with it. Okay, because I was always worried because it'll tell you like how much damage. Like on the right, it'll say how much damage, like plus 200, plus 200.
Yeah,
virtuous stance, but I don't know if that's counting my next attack if it's in that stance or if it's what I did the previous move. Like this is what you did the last one, so you have to change it from this to something else.
Oh no, if you're in that stance, it's telling you this is what your next attack is going to be.
Gotcha.
This is what's coming up,
regardless of what stance you end up in after the turn.
Right, and like for her attack stance, if I remember correctly, she does double damage, but also takes double damage.
Yeah.
And then for defense stance, she takes half damage. But I think it's I don't think the attack is reduced. I think defense stance, the attack is the same as no stance. So there's a lot of things that put you in defense stance that I like to use just because I know attacks are coming. And then if you're in defense stance and you counter or dodge or get a jump, you actually get AP as well. So there's just like I've had so much success.
There's a lot
just,
of mechanics,
like, chaining shit together with her.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really neat.
And another character, the second one you get, it's
a
similar
spells.
thing where it's like it's all spells, and you basically put these things on. You create these things, which I can't remember what they're called. What are they called? Stains. So if you do like a fire spell, you'll get like a fire stain. You can build up to 4 of them, like fire, wind, or fire, ice, earth, light. And then if you consume one of those with a subsequent attack, it adds like another ability to that or to that spell. So it does it more damage, or it'll do more defense or something. Or you can consume like all 4 with this big attack, and it's just a cool juggling of like you need to know what each character can do and how to kind of use them, and they all flow well. Like right now I'm using Gustav to put a mark on characters to enemies, and then that makes the next attack on them do 50% more damage or 100% more damage. I can't, 50% I think more damage, and you can just stack things. Like there's a kind of like in like metaphor.
Is there synergy between characters? Like
absolutely.
Absolutely. You can do like a team up attack. I haven't done one of the big team up ones yet, but like when you get the breaker meter or something like that, I don't think I've gotten far enough in the story for it to introduce that yet.
I haven't either for that. But
yes,
there's a lot of like a lot of the synergy comes from the moving from character to character with status effects. So like Mark and Burn are the big ones. Like
Burn,
Burn stacks a lot.
Dude,
I've got it up to like 12.
Yeah, you said. I remember you said in the Discord like look out for shield or something. I think I got to what you're talking about. There was an enemy that had like
huge
8 shields on it, and I built up so much burn on that motherfucker. It was like I don't know how much it was, but it was just like every turn was like ching, like knocking those off because you can't do damage to an enemy if they have the shields up. So one attack will knock the shield off. The burn knocks one off at the beginning of every turn.
That's actually not the character, the guy I was talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
in the
this
next
is an
area,
optional one. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. In the
This
next
was like an
area, you're
optional
gonna
boss
find
thingy.
you're gonna take on an enemy with a really big shield that can fuck you up pretty bad. So
Okay. But
yeah,
yeah, it's cool. And then, dude, like the parry mechanic. Now, I'm gonna say right off the bat, I switched this to story mode almost immediately after the first couple training battles because I knew
Mhm.
right away like the parry on this is so precise. Like it was giving me
Yeah.
like Sekiro like vibes,
The
and I
window
was
is
like,
super small,
yeah,
and there's
I was like,
no
I'm not gonna like
indication.
this. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
not. You have to know like the patterns really well, and the patterns are telegraphed. They are, but you do have to learn the patterns.
yeah, and
Um,
obviously every enemy is going to have a different pattern, and
yes,
they all have multiple attacks that they could do. So you
yeah,
have to pay attention to which attack is coming.
yeah.
And
So when you
but yeah,
have
and for dodging and countering, there's no indication. There's no like little flash of light that tells you that you need to that you need to hit the button or anything like that. So it's
Mhm,
all about learning the timing on your own and figuring it out. And
mhm.
I have not switched it to story mode yet. I'm saying yet
Well, I
because I
would
have
have.
a feeling it may eventually come.
So
The
the way it
windows
is
are
on
really,
normal
really
is
small.
sorry. What? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say the windows that you can counter are very, very small.
They are small, but it's like the normal ones. It just does like the character will put their arm up or their sword up or something like a quick little like. If you don't hit that, and if you put on story mode, they hold up their arm a little bit longer. So you basically have like a split second or so more that you can hit it early,
Okay.
which has made it a world of more fun for me because I don't have to like really sweat the parrying because you do have to be
Okay, good.
parrying to do the big damage. Because if you parry multiple attacks in a row from a combo, you do a crazy counter attack that does so much damage.
It's so satisfying.
It's so
Oh,
satisfying.
nice.
Like
It's
the sound it
I
makes, the slow motion. It's just like, oh, this is so cool.
have you guys seen this enemy was in the in a lot of the videos, but there's like an enemy with like this giant great sword and just does this big swing all the way
No, I
across
haven't
all
fought
your
that
characters.
yet.
I I just got to them, and there was one fight where I ended up taking on two of them and did the full counter on both of them. It was
Mhm.
I saved the video because it was
Nice.
that
That
satisfying. I was
epic.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, and that's the thing. It's like when the combat when you get it right, it's so satisfying. It
Oh, it is.
really is.
Yeah. The only
The
move that it
QTEs
gives
aren't
you
that big of a deal, for the attacks. They're really easy. They're always the same,
once
essentially.
you have to learn the patterns for those two. The first time you use a new skill, you're probably gonna fail it. Because especially with Mael, she has one that does successive A's like in a row that none of the other characters have up until that point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's like
Fire
I
revolt.
failed that one a few times because I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that. So you need to kind of know the timing of them. Yeah, it's a memory thing and kind of like a rhythm thing, but they're easier to do than the parries for sure. And the only thing the enemies will telegraph where it does give you a prompt is jump. Some of their attacks will hit the
That one's a
ground. And
little
you have to
easier.
jump. That one
Yeah.
will give you a thing, and then when you jump, you can counter with a if you hit R2.
And they
But
will
what's
mix
cool?
them. They will
Yeah,
mix
they
them.
will.
So keep
Yeah,
that in mind. Like there's the actually the one with the big sword, if I remember correctly, yeah, does two swipes that you have to counter, and then the next hit you have to jump.
yeah,
So it's you
Oh
have to
wow.
be on your toes the whole time.
yeah. It's cool, and it's different because like the defense is kind of like real time in the way that you can't move around, but you can hit dodge and parry as many times as you want before the attack's coming in. So it's not like
Hmm.
you have one shot to parry it and you're like, oh crap, I was too early. If the animation finishes, you can sneak out another one if you can. And same with dodging. And
Yeah.
you get just perfect dodges and stuff that give you AP points. All the combat's based on AP points. You build up AP points per turn by doing an attack or doing something like that. Then your AP points are used to do your like skills basically.
Do
So it's
those
cool.
carry from fight to fight, or they
They
No,
just
reset?
reset.
no,
They
they
Okay.
don't
reset.
carry from fight to fight. They just reset. But that also like all of you have no mana, which is
Yeah.
cool. So you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about like when you get a chance to use something big, or do you just do it. Like uh you don't have to like sit on stuff. Like be like I'm
Yeah.
gonna run out of mana potions or something like that. Um,
And like there's also the Lumia system.
dude, I just figured out how to use those like just before we jumped on
There's
here because
so much there,
it doesn't
dude.
give you a tutorial unless you actually go over to that. And I
Yeah.
was like, I saw it in like videos and like reviews. I'm like, when is it going to introduce this mechanic? Because I have no, because I keep picking
Oh,
up these luminous
yeah.
stones. and I'm like, I don't know how to do it. And then I was like, oh my god, it's over there. 'Cause that's one of the only other things I do not like the menus in this game. They're a little bit clunky.
I've
And
heard,
I
they're pretty bad.
agree. They are, and it's interesting because one of the things that I remember like that, like every time I bring up the menu, I'm like when you go in and you just see your characters, it's so minimalist when you first get there because it's like two little menu items at the top, and then the names of all your characters, and then as soon as you select something, it brings up a bunch of stuff, and you have to kind of scroll from horizontally from one side to the other depending on what you want to work on, right? So but yeah, those other pieces of equipment, and I can't remember what they're called before they become
Picos.
The Pictos. So you get Pictos and you equip the Pictos, and the Pictos have stat boosts, and then they each have like a perk. And after you complete 4 battles with the Picto equipped, then it becomes available to equip as a Luminaria or a
Luminous,
whatever it is. I don't remember.
Or Lumite. I don't know how they pronounce it in the game. I can't remember.
But you can't, like, you don't get the stat boost, but you get the perk. And I think you get to start out with, you get essentially 1 point for every level, I think.
Yeah, that's what you get 1 automatically for that. Yeah, and then you build them up other ways.
So each perk is a certain amount of points, and they get expensive. Like I found one that was like every time you hit with a base attack, you heal this much, and that was like 15 points.
Yeah,
it's like,
and you start with 0. Technically.
Yeah, you start with 1, right? You start with you're at level 1.
But you do, yeah. But when I figured this out, I was able to get them all to like around 20, which again is, I'm not really min-maxing quite yet. I'm kind of evenly distributing them as I need. I'm sitting on some I haven't used yet because I don't have enough Pictos. Like I've got all of the ones I possibly can at this point. So, and I'm sure I've missed some because the levels are linear. So the main levels are very linear with kind of paths that loop around each other and little pathways and stuff, like very like old school, like Final Fantasy. Like I'm just using Final Fantasy because the game's not really like Final Fantasy, but the way those maps and dungeons are kind of laid out, kind of, and you find them there. There's like that's when you find Pictos, and that's kind of like the loot sort of deal. And I've gotten lost in those a lot, actually, just because there's no direction. So
right, there's no map or anything. But when you're in those, when you have branching paths, look for lights, because I think if there's lights, that's
the path.
Yeah, like lampposts. That's going to lead you forward. So you want to go to the other path first, so you can get whatever thing is at the end of it, and then come back. So I do like that they did that, because I can, whenever I come up to a branching path, I'm looking for the lights and I'm going the other direction. So
I'll keep my eye out for that, because it's not like a big deal. I've gotten lost a couple times, and not for like a long time, just like a couple minutes. Been like, am I going the way I just came? And be like, yeah, I am.
The next 2 maps for you are going to be those were the rough ones for me.
Yeah.
I love this game. It's so good.
It's a lot of fun, man. I was kind of like, I was looking forward to it since it was announced, but I wasn't sure like how I was gonna like it, and it did seem overwhelming when I was kind of seeing reviews and all the different mechanics with all the Pictos, and then you'd level up all these things, and
it is overwhelming. I think it is,
but they do a really good job of introducing the combat stuff mechanics to you really well, that you don't forget it, and they give you a lot of chances to use those things. Good. Yeah, so it's not like they teach you something once and then you're like, well, now you have to just remember that. Except for the whole Lumens thing, unless I missed it, I did not see a tutorial for that. I had to go and like find that in the menus, and I was like, oh shit, okay, here we go. And then switching all those out and stuff, I can see that's where the build like sickos are gonna love that shit.
There's
like you,
definitely
Chris,
gonna be some of that.
You can probably do all that kind of stuff, but that's what I'm gonna be really terrible at, because I've seen people say that that's really the determining factor on like doing like 500 damage to then doing like 3,000 at the same level, is having those set up in a good way and having the synergies. So that's stuff
what's super interesting about like the way, because it's this very Final Fantasy in the way that like you have a max damage output for one hit of 9999. But there's actually a perk that lets you go over that, apparently. So you actually find a Picto that says your damage can now go beyond 9999, which I think is kind of weird, but it's there. So
yeah, apparently it's pretty much required for doing some of the late game
some of the later
stuff.
It ends up being required, but it's super fun.
It's fun.
Characters
I can't believe
are
a
great.
team of 30 made this. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I am in the zone right now where I want, because we've had last year was Astrobot getting a lot of Game of the Year nods, and that was essentially an independent studio, right? It was Sony that published it, but the developer was an independent studio.
Oh, that inherently makes it not indie, though.
Well, I get you.
Yeah.
And then Larian was before that.
Developer that isn't owned by a publisher is technically indie, but until they have a publisher. So I don't like Sandbox. Sandbox, is that who made this? Like they started as an independent developer until they pitch something, it gets picked up by a publisher, then they're no longer indie. I mean, they got funded.
Well, okay, let me put it a different way. They're not subject to shareholders. They are an independently owned development studio. Like it's not. They're not traded on the public market, so they can take more risks and not have to, pamper or cater to their shareholders.
But they also are financially supported by a publisher, which gives them a lot of leeway, like more so than a regular indie studio, which is like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make payroll this week,
Exactly.
I get you.
Kepler's been really good with them, they said, but they're not an indie studio. This is not an indie game, as much as people keep calling it.
No, it's not an indie game, but what I'm getting at is
freedom because they were allowed to have that by Kepler. Like they gave them that and been like, hey, just do your thing, which is like the dream situation for any studio. Give us money, do what we want, and that's perfect. But if it was another publisher that had them, that might not have been the case. Well, I'll put it this way, regardless if it's indie or not, like whatever their next game is that they pitch their idea, they're going to get picked up by a publisher immediately, if not already Kepler. Because Kepler's been on a bit of a roll lately. Like Sifu was really well.
Was a big hit.
Rematch looks really good, really fun, even though it's totally different than Sifu. It's a soccer game, but it looks fun. It's an arcadey soccer game. And they did something else recently too that was like pretty well received. They're an up and comer. Like they.
Do you know what we haven't talked about?
What
is how goddamn beautiful this game is?
Oh, I know, right? It's so pretty.
Holy
like
shit!
Style especially,
it's like, very wee wee.
It's very French.
It is very French. Yes, it's very French.
It is. Oh my god! There's some really good settings that I've seen so far. And I've only been played the first like 20-30 minutes or whatever, the first section. But even then, I was just like exploring every nook and cranny, just like trying to find new shit to look at, and it paid off. Like every time I went down a little side road or whatever, I'm like, that's really really interesting. Like the environmental storytelling that they're doing as well. Like on the walk down to the harbor, there's a side thing where it's just like it's a pile of furniture, right? And it's just it looks like a junkyard almost, but there's a little caption essentially that tells you, well, this is where the people that are going away leave the furniture. But it's not heavy-handed in
Gomage or something. It's not
the Gramage or Gramage.
Gramage. I can't. Gramage.
But
Gramage,
they
I think is right.
Like they don't just like beat over your head, beat the exposition over your head. It's doled out in very little spoonfuls. It's great.
And if you want more of it, like you can get more of it. Like especially at that festival, like you have the opportunity to go and talk to everybody, but you can just ignore most of them as well. So
at the beginning, what did you do for your token trade-ins? I guess we could actually that could be spoiler. Not spoilerish, but
here's what I'm going to say for people that are just starting. There's three in the festival. Vendors. There's 3 vendors that have that use tokens. You can get 3 tokens.
Okay.
So I think I only
get those 3 tokens.
Yeah, you can get 3 tokens. You start out with 1, but there's a way to get 2 more tokens within the festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I did get the 2 then. Yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
That game's good, man. I'm playing it on Game Pass for my first playthrough, but I bought it physically on PS5 because it's definitely a game I want to own physically for sure. It's like I'll definitely play it.
Can we talk about the music real quick?
Yeah.
Everything
It's
everything
so
about
good.
this game is fucking
Everything
fantastic.
is good.
Like,
Like I don't. This is a AAA game in
yeah.
done
There's
by a
presentation,
studio
yeah.
of 30
Yeah.
people. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And it's all like there's like 152 tracks that they released.
Yeah,
for the
soundtrack.
official
you
soundtrack.
said the soundtrack is out there, right? But man,
Yeah.
I the area that Geoff that you were in, the essentially
Watery
underwater
one?
area that's not
Yeah.
underwater, which I think is fucking amazing. Like
Yeah, it's
just
funny.
the environments too, like everything. But like near the end of that area, the track that was playing was really hitting it for me, and I can't remember like what it was about it, but like what it sounded like there was a woman in the background going saying Gustav's name, going Gustav, and I'm like, that's not what she's saying, but it sounds like that's what she's saying.
Yeah, a lot of it's in French, so it's kind of hard. But it's yeah, the dialogue's great. The characters speak to
Dialogue's
each other
great.
like you would expect them. It's not full of like MCU style quips and things like that. That is kind of plagued by a lot of games these days.
It did not.
Yeah.
It did not register to me how young Mayo was.
Yeah.
Like I just thought
She's
she was like I knew
9
she
years
wasn't
away from her Gramage, something.
Well, that's the thing. They say that,
Wouldn't that be
and when
18? Wouldn't that be 18 years younger? That doesn't make sense.
and that's the thing. It's like they're the expedition is a bunch of 33-year-olds and Mayo, right?
Yeah.
And I heard he says something about 9 years away from whatever
from her Gramage, which would be 18 years from that would be 18 real years, because every year is kind of technically 2, right? Because for every year she lives, one's taken away. Yeah. So that would make it 18 years difference, but that doesn't seem right.
Right there did not register when I heard it in the dialogue. That was my problem, because I immediately thought, oh, she's 9 years younger, but that's not what the case is. I had to look it up. She's apparently 16.
Whoa.
So
okay.
She's she's straight up a teenager that's going on this expedition with them.
Yeah, she's doing it for shits and giggles. She's not she's
doing it to figure out who she is too. Like I have a feeling there's a lot more about her that we're going to find out later. Like there's definitely something going on with her.
Yeah, for sure.
But man, I cannot suggest this game enough to people that are into RPGs.
It's a quote unquote budget game. Like it's not even a full price game. Yeah.
$50 in a world where Nintendo is about to start charging $90 for a physical game. You can get this for $50. So take advantage of it while you can.
If you have Game Pass, fucking try it. If you already have Game Pass, just try it. If you're not hooked in the first hour by story alone, I would say give it until you actually do some combat, and holy shit, it's like so good.
Yeah, I think once you really start getting into the combat, when you've got two characters, like when you have
that's when it really starts. Yeah,
Gustav and
Luna,
Luna,
something like that.
Oh, I'm fucking up all these characters' names. Hold on, I got to look it up now. It's Lune. Yeah. I will say this
in the beginning of the.
Yes, correct.
Yes. Yeah.
I will say this. I am having a little bit of trouble with Lune because of the stains. Because there are 5 different stains, and some of the coloring is very similar, and there's not any other distinctive feature about them.
No, they're not. They all look the same.
And even when I switched to colorblind mode, I still couldn't tell. So that is one thing that I hope they look at and possibly fix. But
I think they're gonna add some stuff. But yeah, they definitely can add some quality of life stuff for that type of stuff in there, and maybe even not even map markers, just something that puts you in the right direction of where you're supposed to be going, because it's not meant to be like a exploratory game per se. Like even the open world, when you're in an area you're not supposed to be in, so they clearly want you to go certain ways.
When I was on my way to that second area, I found one portal, and I walked up to it, and it straight up in red letters said "danger." I'm like, okay,
no,
I'm
don't
out.
even
Let's
think
see.
about
Let's
it.
go.
Yeah, you're not that guy.
Yeah,
go walk away.
that's all right. I'm good. I'll walk away. I'm fine. And there was and actually right before we started, probably about 20 minutes before we started, I was on my way to the next area, and I must have taken a different turn, ran into a guy that just murdered me, just fucking destroyed me. So yeah, you got to be careful. Like, this game is it's not playing around. It'll fuck you up quick.
It's honestly what I would have wanted the Final Fantasy VII remakes to be like. Like, this
Yes.
combat system is like those old RPGs, but feels modern as fuck, and in such a good way. It feels so fresh. This whole game just feels fresh. It's just great game.
I actually did find the fourth character. I haven't really used them very much yet, but the mechanic for them is, again, completely different. It's about stacking a particular status that is specific for them, and they've got like this sun moon thing going on. Like, it's really, really cool stuff, man. I love it. I love how you can literally find characters that suit the play style. And I have a feeling, that you're going to run into scenarios where I want these three characters together for this, and these three characters together for this, and like, you could work it all out that way. But then again, you don't have to, right? You can play it on story mode and go and barrel through it too.
Well, I don't know. I won't say barrel through it. Story mode isn't exactly a cakewalk either. It's just, it's basically
you still have to
just
dodge.
the parry stuff is, the window's a little bit bigger, but
and you still got to do that.
Yeah,
like you won't finish the game unless you can at least.
You have to parry.
You have to parry or dodge.
But it's doable. If I'm having fun with it, I'm pretty sure like 90% of people can.
Yeah.
So I was afraid for a minute there.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Great game.
Yes.
All right, let's finish the podcast. Go back and play it more.
All right.
What else are we playing? Jason, you got something else new, don't you?
Yeah, I'm torn on this one. This is tough for me, but Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves. I wanted to talk about that. It is mired in controversy due to the ownership. Yeah, they've got Saudi ownership, and there's some not cool dudes that are funding, SNK essentially. And it's one thing to just kind of be a silent partner, but they seem to be like influencing them, like pushing for certain characters.
They're doing the opposite of Kepler.
Yeah. So they're like they've got one of the most popular soccer players in the world who is an accused rapist as a playable character. Also, like one of the Saudi guys, like his favorite DJ, they put him in, which I'm particularly pissed off about, because I swear to God that was supposed to be Duck King's place and moveset
in the roster.
They probably just threw this guy in instead, which
what the hell?
Which is a bummer.
That's weird. Why? Oh man.
That said, God damn it, this game is fun as hell. I obviously don't pick the soccer guy or even the DJ, but it's mechanically, it's really, really fresh and sound. Like, there's so many different cancels and feints and things that you can, like combo routes that you can do. It's very freeform and expressive. It's a cool ass combat system, as compared to like even Street Fighter 6. They have the drive rush, skipping neutral and stuff, but there's nothing like that in Fatal Fury, which is great. So you get to play footsies and neutral, a lot more. But yeah, I'm having a really, really good time with it so far.
It does look fun. Sure.
It's good. It's just like, I didn't pay for it. I got a code for it, but I don't know if I would have bought it otherwise. but I feel like I should let people know, if they're okay with, looking past that stuff. There's a very good game.
Yeah, it's Cristiano Ronaldo, by the way, if anyone's
Yeah.
listening who doesn't know Cristiano Ronaldo. One of
Yeah,
the best soccer players ever, but he's a big POS.
Yep, there we go.
I didn't know that.
But yeah.
I mean, I know who he is, and I know he's a very good soccer player, but I didn't realize.
I didn't hear
that about him.
like these stuff about him till actually Fatal Fury. Funnily enough, that's
Mhm.
because I don't really follow the soccer
Same
world.
thing.
So
Like,
football.
I heard that he was included. I'm like, okay, all right, that's Saudi money, whatever.
Yeah,
So good for
exactly.
them. But I won't use them. But then I heard, like all the bullshit that
went with it. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the thing. Like you said, if they stayed as silent partners, like none of this stuff would have come to. Like I'm sure. Like I'm not saying he wouldn't be in trouble. Like he's still a piece of shit. But people like us wouldn't really know per se, and especially some of the other stuff that I've heard about the owners of the company, especially that's really bad. That I'm like kind of like, well, yeah, it's like that's kind of shitty. It's
murdering
really
reporters and shit.
Yeah, that's no, that's not cool.
Yeah, it's not cool. And it's a shame because this is one of SNK's like it's so much better than 15. The King of Fighters 15. Like it's just a really nice polished
game. It's the first one since Garo, right?
Yeah,
the first
this
Fatal
is
Fury since
this
then?
is a I believe so.
When was that? Like late
man.
90s?
Yeah, I mean that was still Neo Geo days.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So, yeah, I'm just putting that out there. Play it if you.
No, that's good, man.
Does it work well online?
What's that?
Does it work well online? Did you try it online?
Apparently
at all, or no?
so. Yeah, I did not try. And they're already making changes to the game. They're taking a lot of player feedback into consideration, and they're nerfing where they need to, and adding some stuff to like how fast you can hit rematch and shit like that. Like apparently it's like way too long for people that are and they're cutting that down a little bit. So
nice. I almost grabbed it, I almost did it, but then fighting games now for me are just I don't play them much just because the people that I used to play fighting like you and then like all the old crew, it's so hard to get together, and the time to actually get like somewhat decent at them I just don't have anymore.
Sure.
And without the group of people to play, I don't have the motivation to do that. So especially on a game like this where not all of our crew would have gotten this. Like it's not like a Street Fighter, it's not like Street Fighter 6 where like everyone grabbed that shit.
Right.
So
only the diehards would have, but
yeah.
Unless it was a really, really good game, and then people would more people would pick it up. But,
true.
I'm trying to think of Monster Hunter. I played Monster Hunter. They're having the Spring Blossom event or something like that. So they added a shit ton of like event quests. There's like new armor that you can unlock. There's event quests that you can grind for, like armor spheres and food and stuff that you use for the cat cooking and shit like that. Just lots of tickets, lots of event quests, lots of shit to do, and they completely redesigned the hub as well to make it into like the springtime cherry blossoms. It's
nice.
rather fetching looking. It's nice. It's very serene.
Very cool.
So I've done like more than a handful of quests in that, just grinding shit out for the hell of it. Trying to unlock enough blossom tickets in order to make the armor that I want. And now you're able to wear both gender armor sets, so it's like it behooves you to like go and unlock the female set as well. So there's lots of shit to do, and it's very fun. I like that Monster Hunter. 100 plus hours, man.
Yeah, it's really good.
So far.
I certainly put upwards of, I mean, even like you played it a ton more than I have, and I still put like 80 something hours into it, I think.
Yep. So yeah, that game good as well.
That game good. That game will definitely also be on my game of the year list.
Same here. Big time. But I think that's pretty much it for me. How about you, Chris?
Let's see. The only other thing I have is I played quite a bit more Assassin's Creed, and moved on to the second major area, Cleared out most of the stuff in that first area and moved on to the second. So one of the things that Geoff talked about early on was the use of scouts, and how you can you get up like right now I've got 6 scouts that I can use, and you use them for scouting out mission objectives, and you can use them to smuggle resources out of enemy castles and things like that. And I had talked about like last week that I like the idea of putting someone there and letting them. It only took 1 or 2 times of me scouting something and it coming up empty to be like, nope, fuck that. Yep. Big waste of a scout. So what I did was, one of the reasons I left it on in the first place is because when you turn it off, they straight up say there are trophies tied to this option. So I left it on. And then after I ran into the issue, I went and looked up the trophies. There's one. You scout one mission, you get the trophy, you're fucking done. So I turned the option on and I'm like, all right, cool. Now I got 6 different scouts just to go get shit for me. That's what I'm using it for. But yeah, that game's really fun. I'm at the point now where I can switch back and forth between the characters. They are as distinctive as Geoff has explained in previous episodes. Like
one is a lot of fun to use. The other one is only fun in a specific situation.
Very specific situations. Yeah. Naue is very fun to use. Like it's fun to sneak around with her and do all the assassination missions. And literally you could clear out castles and never be seen. Like she's really, really fun to use. The other dude is great when you need to
he's just the I win button.
Yeah, he is when you just need to plow through a shit ton of enemies. That's when you use him. And what is his name? Yasuke?
Yasuke. Yeah.
Yasuke. But like his moves are so fucking strong. Like similar enemies that I like. If I have to fight with Naue, it's like he's just cutting through them like they're nothing. And I'm like, man, and he's got like, he doesn't play either. Like he will straight up, his finishing move isn't a sword through the heart. He will get that guy on his knees and fucking chop his head off, and it's just be over at that point.
Or lift him up above his head.
Oh yeah, he like stabs and lifts him up, like throws him. I'm like, damn, fucking with him, right? Shit. Yeah. Oh, crazy. I haven't used the club weapon. I've mainly just been using the katana so far with him, but yeah, I was wondering how they were going to get the two of them together from a story perspective and how the player would be able to switch from one to the other. Still not sure I'm thrilled with how that all worked out, but I get it. So
makes sense.
I'm interested. Yeah. I'm interested to see where it goes. I was like the direction the story went, definitely was not expecting that. The essentially the way they lay out how everything is going to move forward. You kind of, when you start the game, I think you have an expectation of who you're going to, of what your objective is, and then
that's kind of like all Assassin's Creeds, though.
Yeah, so that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Kind of telegraphed a little bit, but yeah.
So this game good too.
Okay. This game good too, yeah. It's I talked to
It'll
Geoff
test
about
your
it.
Patience though, big time.
It will. But I mentioned it last week. I don't know if I'm going to finish this game, to be honest with you, because I knew
just
that
mainline it, man. Just don't worry about getting everything.
It's so hard to do, Geoff. It's so hard to do.
Wouldn't you at least see credits than to stop playing it and just have it sit there and never play it again?
Yeah,
that's the thing that always gets me. Like I always start with I want to do as much as possible. Then I get to a point where I'm like, this is starting to get tedious, or I'm starting to get burnt out. Mainline it because I'd rather see credits than be like, I never finished a game I paid for.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like with
not finished are ones I really just don't care about. Like,
yeah. And when it comes to things like Assassin's Creed, though, like I am so methodical about how I do everything too. So it's like if they say an Assassin's Creed game is going to take 80 hours, it's going to take me 100. Yeah. Because of like the extra hours of just me being very methodical about making sure I don't get caught and making sure I set certain things up so that I can run through different areas without being seen and things like that. Like it's a process.
I hear you. I would never finish any game if I was that mentality. There's no fucking way, especially an open world game.
Yeah, but that's it for me. Anything else
Geoff.
for you, Geoff?
Yeah, well, there's one big game that we haven't talked about yet. Probably the biggest shadow drop ever happened on Tuesday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the biggest not kept secret, the biggest known secret. I don't know whatever the saying is.
The biggest
worst kept secret, the biggest worst kept secret. So yeah, Oblivion remake finally dropped on Tuesday. It was shadow dropped after their little stream or whatever, or like 20-minute long stream. So I jumped into that. Well, the night before I actually booted up the original because I wanted to see what it looked like, and I was like, ooh, yeah, I'm like this does not hold up graphically at all. But the new one, man, it looks very good. It's Unreal Engine 5, so it's got that like it's Clair. The thing is, Unreal Engine 5 games look like Unreal. Like Clair Obscur's got a lot of similarities in visuals as this does, as Wukong. But it looks very good. It looks very modern. It still plays like the old one because what it essentially is it's running the creation engine or Gamebryo engine, what it used to be called, underneath for all like the physics and the AI and all the pathing and stuff like that. But the visuals are all Unreal Engine 5. So that's the way they're doing it. So it still feels like Oblivion, whether you think that's good or bad, because they kept in the jank. Anything that wasn't like game breaking or anything like that, they kept in it. So, and people love it for that. They wanted to keep it as true to the base game as possible. And I've seen some of that jank. I've seen people moving in towns where they're not actually animating their feet. They're just kind of like, they look like they're on those like hoverboard things sliding around. I've shot a rat with an arrow and it's ragdolled all over the place. It was insane. The voice acting is the same. It add more voice actors though, and all the races now and species sound different. Which in the first game there was like I think 6 total voices that were just recycled for like everyone voice actors. So they did change that a bit. They at least made them sound distinct anyway. So that's a good one. But they kept in like there's a famous line in that game that one of the actresses, she's reading her line. She reads her line and then goes, "Oh shit! Oh, that was not good. Okay, let's start that one over again." And then she starts the line again. That's like a running meme from like in the original. That's still in there apparently. Like they kept.
Oh really?
Yeah,
that's great. That's great.
It's the exact same game, but they added more animations for combat, which is awesome. The enemies now react to getting hit with stuff, which never happened in the original Oblivion, which is great. But the AI is still Oblivion AI and kind of shitty. Yeah, they kind of just run right at you. And if this has happened to me like tonight, like I saw a zombie down some stairs and like whatever, like the second floor, and I shot it with an arrow, it didn't die. And not only does it know where you are, it knows the direct path how to get to you, which they're not strong or anything, but it was just funny how it's a zombie gets hit by an arrow in the leg and then knows exactly it needs to run over, turn left, go up a flight of stairs, a flight of steps, go through like a door and come up to me. I'm just like, I just wait. I'm like, well, I know where he's coming here. Like, it's not like whatever, but that's part of the charm, man. Like that was Oblivion. I didn't play as much Oblivion as I did Skyrim, but Oblivion meant more to me as like for nostalgia's sake. And like that first scene where you come out of the sewers at the beginning of the game after the first like hour and you just see like the world, that's like one of my gaming core memories that I'm gonna remember probably forever. And I got that almost same feeling in this version because you come out and you're like, this is so much prettier. Like the lighting,
nice.
the everything looks so good. But yeah, it's fun. Like I don't think you guys played, but Skyrim was like your first one, right, Chris?
I tried Oblivion. So I do have Oblivion for 360. And when I played it, for some reason I could not get into it.
Gotcha.
But Skyrim, I was able to get
right, because I asked you if you played Skyrim first and went back to Oblivion. Yeah, so
I played very little of both of them.
Yeah,
I'm a bad gamer.
You're a bad gamer.
It's not for everyone.
Taste, yeah. I mean, it's still got like, but right away, like, I felt like this game is from like 2006, and like within like the first hour of playing it, it has that feeling of Bethesda games that Starfield didn't have, and that's like, I can see now like why a lot of people had issues with Star. Like I like Starfield for what it is. For what it is. I really liked it, but something about those Elder Scroll games like Skyrim and Oblivion, just they hit so much different. Like the music and the fact that you can like move anything pretty much and put anything anywhere, and just like the personality of the world is just so, being able to see something and just going over there and just exploring it, and it's just kind of fun. Um, I'm gonna put on the back shelf until I'm done Clair Obscur for sure. I think this is gonna be one of those games where I play it throughout the year here and there because I just want to do a couple quests, do this or whatever, and yeah, because it does feel like an older game. Like, don't get me wrong, they didn't upgrade anything to do with like the quests,
Mechanics.
or they did change some quality of life stuff. They changed the way that leveling up works now. They kind of put it like a combo of Oblivion and Skyrim, which is really good because the leveling up in Oblivion was kind of weird, but the way they did in Skyrim was too straightforward. This is kind of like in between, which is kind of cool. There's not much really more to say other than that. Frame rate can take it's 4K 60, which is crazy because it's Unreal Engine 5. But I'm assuming because the creation engine is the one that's doing all like the AI calculations and the physics and everything, that makes it easier for Unreal Engine 5 to do stuff without taking like, because the Gamebryo engine's old as fuck, so I'm sure it doesn't take too much of the CPU to run. So most of it's just going to visuals. So it is pretty in that sense, but it doesn't hold a solid 60 at all times. I've definitely seen some drops here and there, but nothing game breaking. Like it's not like you're fighting and all of a sudden drops to like 30 or like 20s. It's not like that. It's just little drops here and there, which is totally kosher, I guess. Except for one time where definitely was a bug, some Bethesda jank, where a mission you're supposed to help these two farmers fight off these goblins, and you fight off a couple ways, and all of a sudden, like I want to say like 3 dozen of them just showed up. Like, there's no way this is supposed to be like this, because I kept shooting them, killing them like with my arrows or whatever, and they just kind of kept coming. But it came to like a crawl for a bit. I'm like, this ain't right, because there's no way this ran on 360. There's no way this. So I reloaded a save and then went back and I was like, nope, it's that was a bug, because then you're only supposed to fight 2 waves of 3. So that was kind of weird. But no, it's really well done so far. I've seen a lot of people say there's a lot of issues. They're having issues with it on any given platform, especially on PC. But I've seen also people on console, both PS5 and Series, with issues. I've had it crash once so far, so I could just be lucky, or I just haven't played that much of it. I'm only like 5 hours or so, maybe 6. But it's good. It's right back to fucking that age of gaming and brought back those same memories. It was just a nostalgia punch to the face that I'm really happy they did. I'm happy it's real. I'm happy it was not a rumor, and they did it right. So far, it's pretty much overwhelming praise for how well Blue Point nailed this, which gives me a very high expectation for Metal Gear Solid Delta or whatever.
Oh, sure.
They're doing that. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it.
Nice.
Great.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
No, I wanted to talk about an IEM update. I got these new IEMs. The Moondrop Rays, RAYS. These are brand new. Cost a little bit more than what normal IEMs cost, and they come in at about $100, which, I mean, is kind of this not the ceiling, but comparable to other like gaming headsets, kind of the price range. It kind of falls into that, if you're looking for an upgrade from just the normal stuff. Long story short, it's got a DSP attached to it, so it's USB plug termination. The thing is that you can store different EQs on there. Like you plug it in, you go to a website, you can plug in these user generated EQs, which are great for specific games. Specific games like, Valorant or, Call of Duty have different, ranges, for their explosions, their footsteps and whatever. So if you're playing a specific game, you log into the website and you just change the thing. There's music generated ones as well, which sound really, really good. But even just the base default one, I absolutely love the sound on it. So it's got a nice punchy bass. It's got a little more, it's got clarity to the treble. I'm very happy with it. I just wanted to let people know that if they're in the mood for an IEM, this is a really fucking good one.
What is it called?
Did you flash it? Yeah, I didn't see it.
The moon. I'm wearing them right now. The Moondrop Rays. RAYS.
Moondrop Rays.
Yep. And you can get them on Amazon now, I think, for $100.
Having different equalizer settings for different reasons, for different situations, like that's really cool. Especially considering that you could just go and download it from someone who's already gone in and tweaked it. That's really cool.
Because I hate these things that I'm using here. I keep meaning to buy more or in a different pair, but maybe those will work.
Yeah,
be better.
Also, the Light Edge from our Discord, he got him as well, and he's raving about it. So it's not just me, I guess. So
cool,
good stuff.
Yeah, very good stuff.
News? on the topic of Oblivion, before we jump to news, I do plan on downloading and I hope to get around to it and try it again. Yeah, I want to, because I played Oblivion before I played Fallout, before I played Skyrim. So, now that I have those under my belt and I have a better understanding of what those games are, maybe going back to Oblivion will work now. So
it's a lot easier to look at now too, and because it actually feels like combat. Like the archery feels so much like even better than it did in Skyrim. So they've definitely upped the combat.
Oh, nice.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Definitely wait though, because I'm sure they're going to patch it up a bit if it's not as stable, like anywhere. So a patch just came out today or yesterday. So they're probably fixing a lot of shit with it.
Good stuff. All right, Geoff, news. What do we got?
Not a lot at all. Like hardly anything. One of the bigger ones is a game sequel, Ghost of Yotai, the Ghost of Tsushima sequel. That got a release date, October 2nd, and a new trailer, and it's $60. So
60 or 70?
$70. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
$70. So what the standard gaming pricing was pre-Nintendo.
You said October what?
2nd, I think it is.
October 2nd.
That worries me.
Why is that?
A lot.
What else is coming out then?
What do you think's coming out in the fall, Chris? Do you think they're going to be doing another Horizon situation here? There's a very big game dropping this fall.
Is Grand Theft Auto dropping then?
Yeah, probably. And if they do that, that's not a good.
I mean, I know which one I'm going to buy, so
I know you'll be in the vast minority.
I know I'll be in the minority on that one, but is there a date for that?
No, but people are kind of like saying it'll be fall, like October, November. I think if it comes out after Yote by a good couple weeks or more, I think it'll be fine. But if it comes out before Yote,
I would guess that Grand Theft Auto is probably going to hit in November. They're going to try I think they're going to try and take advantage of the holidays.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think
they're going to sell 6 million in the first day.
Regardless of when they do
tomorrow, and it's going to be the best-selling game in a decade
of the year. Yeah,
I don't think it matters to them if it's getting holidays or not.
Yeah.
Especially considering it's only going to be it's not going to be probably not going to be on the Switch 2 or Switch. They're not going to. You realize
it will have been 12 years since the last Grand Theft Auto game?
Yeah, because I guess 5 was on 360 and PS3, right?
It was 2013.
Yeah, that's insane.
That was PS4. That was PS4 and Xbox One. That's when they launched.
No, it launched before that, dude. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on 360 and PS3.
Right, but it also came out PS4 came out in 2013, did it not?
Then Grand Theft Auto 5 must have come out before that. Because I played Grand Theft Auto 5 on 360. I played on Xbox One later.
Yeah, it came out 2 months before.
Oh, 2 months. Okay, so it wasn't
2 months before. So
gotcha.
Yeah, November 2013 is when the PS4 came out.
Gotcha. Okay, so it was the same year.
Same year.
Yeah. It just seems like I always think that too. I'm like, oh, it's only like a generation old. No, technically it's 2 generations
it's like
old.
a generation and a half, almost 2.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we're almost done with this generation. It's probably more than halfway done. So Definitely more than halfway done, most likely.
Yeah.
So Yote, get your mark it on your calendar. Book the 2 days off like Chris is gonna do.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
probably gonna grab it. Probably. I mean, I know I will. I definitely will. I'll probably get Grand Theft Auto as well, but I'll probably play Yote first. The other one is Jason puts up in the Discord. Nintendo put up a list of some Switch 2 games that are getting free upgrades. I don't have the list in front of me. I know there's some games on there that were.
Let's see if we can find it.
Yeah, I can pull them up real quick.
Should be in the news section. Important to note that it's not just performance patches. It's also some of the games that they're just doing like a Switch 2 feature, like the game sharing thing. So like the Clubhouse games and shit like that. It probably isn't going to see a performance patch.
Oh, yeah. I see
like it'll get the multiplayer stuff added to it, which is cool. The thing I'm looking forward to the most is Link's Awakening, because that game just fucking ran like shit.
Ran like hot garbage.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't buy it. That's the only reason I didn't buy it, because I heard it was.
I bought it and I played it and finished it. You know,
really?
Yep. I dealt with it. Yep.
That's why I don't want to hear you ever say that you can't play games 30 frames per second, Chris. Because
I never say that. I never say that.
I say that. I say that.
I know you. I know Jason does. That's just.
I'm playing Expedition 33 on fidelity mode.
Yeah, same here.
Honestly, it's still. It doesn't seem like it's 30. It seems like it's more. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, your eyes adjust to it. It gets better.
Yeah. So I take it back. I think I have. Go ahead.
The biggest game that I really want performance patch to, not Link's Awakening. It's ARMS.
I knew you were going to say that. I pulled up the list and I was like, he's going to say ARMS. He's going to fucking say ARMS.
I was trying to think of an ARMS joke. I'm like, it's on here. That would have been a reach. So
there you go. Still got it in there.
Yeah. Zelda Link's Awakening's on here. Echoes of Wisdom is also on here.
Yeah, that'll help.
The Mario Odyssey, which that's going to be a weird one because that's 60 already, wasn't it? 60. I guess resolution would count too, I guess, for this.
Yeah. So the whole list is ARMS, Big Brain Academy, Brain vs. Brain, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Clubhouse Games, Game Builder Garage, Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening, like you mentioned, New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. So they're re-releasing a game that they re-released on Switch that came out on the Wii U.
Well, it's not a re-release; it's just a patch.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and then Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and then Super Mario Odyssey. So that's what I've got on this list.
But I'm sure
there's one missing on here.
Happy.
Sorry, what are you saying, Jason?
I'm sorry, people are probably very happy about the Pokemon situation.
Yeah, because that doesn't run well either.
Yep.
Does it not? I didn't know that.
No, runs very poorly.
We have both of them. Both my kids play them, so
you need to
I want Xenoblade Chronicles X to get the official word, because when that came out a couple months ago or a month ago or whatever, people found that there is an actual like 60 frames per second mode, but it's not unlocked in the game, and I'm not sure how they found it. A few people have like corroborated this, and everyone's assuming it's because it's going to have a Switch 2 upgrade, but it hasn't been officially announced yet. And I have that game. I haven't opened it yet. I was waiting specifically for the Switch 2 to start it.
Nice. So, good.
Yeah. I am stuck. Like, I have so many unopened Switch games that I've just been waiting. Like,
oh man, I don't get me started. I mean, they're not waiting for the Switch 2. They're waiting for my shelf, apparently.
I will admit,
they're waiting for the shelf. That's it.
3 of the 5 games I have unopened are just because I just never got to opening them and playing them. So, but 2 of them I specifically bought waiting for the Switch 2.
I just got an email that Limited Run is shipping out 2 more pretty soon too. So
ooh, nice.
Let's see, which ones are they? Magical Drop 6. I like Magical Drop. That's good. And then Momodora.
Oh, Moment of Reverie or whatever.
Moonlit Farewell.
Moonlit Farewell. That's the second one, I think. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, those are good games.
Oh, I did. Haven't talked about this yet. I did get the shipped notification of the new Shantae Game Boy Advance game.
Oh.
So Risky's Revolution. For people that don't know the story, Way Forward loves the Shantae. They love working on the Shantae series. They created one, or they were in process of creating one for Game Boy Advance, and it got scrapped. And since then, they've released 3 other games, I think, at least. And what they decided to do is they went back, completed the Game Boy Advance game, put a bunch of like quality of life stuff in it, and then Limited Run is publishing it. So that is on its way. It's been shipped. The game is also going to be available on Steam. And I think that, I don't know when that's coming out, but it does have a Steam page already. Let's see. Revolution. Nope, it's not coming up. That's okay. It is there. Someone posted it. But yeah, if you're into Metroidvanias, then that's a good thing. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk about that on the next show.
Oh, Shantae.
That's it for news, really. Nothing that much. The biggest news thing was the Oblivion shadow drop, really.
Good stuff. All right, I think that's a show then.
All right
then.
Let's wrap this up. Thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please tell a few friends about us. And if you're on iTunes, if you're on iTunes, I almost said, well, what was it? iTunes or Zune Marketplace.
Zune Marketplace.
Zune Marketplace.
Oh my god!
and if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe. Yeah. Like, subscribe, and comment. Yeah, the one person was Jason, wasn't it?
I don't know. Was it Jason? I think Sniper Maverick had a Zoom too, or what? I can't remember.
And we would love for you to come join over the community over at Discord. So drop by and say hi.
For sure.
That's it for today. Until next time, my name is Chris.
I'm Jason.
I'm Geoff.
Player Games. We'll talk to you next time.